Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Collective Spotlight. Here we are back 2 weeks in a row. Last week we had Travis Gibb back on the show to do the little bit of a relaunch. And this week I brought in good friend of the store, Don, to come on and talk about his book Retro. And he's brought his co-creator, Aaron, with him. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring these two gentlemen onto the show. And here you guys are. Don, Aaron, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, brilliant.
This Don, you've been on the show a couple times to talk about covers you've worked for us, but this is Aaron's absolute first time with the collective crew over here. So Kayla, hey, thank you so much. Larry, how you doing? Don't forget to hit a like, guys, if you're watching on YouTube. But so guys, the book that I currently have, and I've known Don for a while because he's done stuff with Travis and he's done covers, but the book we currently have here is Retro. Tell us a little bit about what the book is about, who the character is, what we have going here.
Can I do this one, Don?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So retro is an idea that keeps percolating more and more deep in my mind. And every day, little bits of it pop up. And today, a little bit of dialogue popped up in my head that came from my favorite character, which is the bad guy named Zivko. And the story is about a drifter who's looking for his son. And his son is being more or less raised by a gangster whose name is Zivko. And there's this bit of dialogue that came up today in which Zivko is talking about his own father. And he's saying that he got this nick on his cheek. And it's a scar that he keeps with him. And that scar is the only thing that his father ever gave him. And Zivko is saying, you probably think that my father was a piece of shit. And you would be right, he was. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that you don't backhand someone that you don't care about. And so I now know that because of this, when I see this scar on my face, on my cheek in the mirror, I know that my father cared about me. And so, so it's a father and son story.
That's some storytelling right there. That's how we know. So if you guys haven't guessed yet, Aaron's the writer, Don's the artist. Yeah. So, the way I love Retro's character design. I know Don's the artist. How much did you guys go back and forth? Who kind of came up with he just looks so, street level while also looking like almost like a superhero. I don't know. I don't want to compare it to anything because it's so different,
Oh, thanks, man. I did all the character designs. We originally started this project, actually. Aaron is a screenwriter as well, and he had initially envisioned this to be, like a television feature kind of a project. Mm-hmm. And he had just asked me, he's like, hey, I have this idea. I love your artwork, because my wife and him are work friends. I'm just, friends. And he's like, I love your artwork. Can you come on board and just, do a few storyboards for me? And then, we sat down and conceptualized it. And a lot of the inspiration actually has to do with the fact that my great uncle was homeless. He was paranoid schizophrenic, and he refused to live wherever we had set him up. But he lived, he just wants to live on the streets. And so, I drew on that and just knowing some homeless people and being around them because of him. So yeah, that's where the inspiration for the character design comes from. And the item in particular that Aaron wanted to feature was the fact that our character Retro wears a trench coat, and it's part of his silhouette, his persona, like when we think about capes, like Batman's cowl, for example. So we really try to work that in and have that be part of his look.
Yeah, and I had talked to Don about film noir, which is a genre of film that I am in love with. And, in film noir movies, you have guys walking around with trench coats, carrying briefcases, and walking through puddles in dark alleys and stuff like that. And so that was something that we were super excited about.
Yeah, and I actually love that Don brought it up because I was going to say, first of all, just the composition on this cover, it was kind of clear to me that his trench coat was kind of his version of his cape, that that was clearly a part of it, and like how he uses it. So I thought that was really cool. And now, like you just said, Aaron, he's carrying the briefcase, and he looks like he's, you know, he should have it handcuffed to him or whatnot.
Right.
So you guys have issue 1 out. It's for Kickstarter fulfilled. Maybe what was it, a month ago, or right before the end of the year? I think you guys started knocking everything out.
Yeah. So we had originally hoped to have the project in our hands by Rose City Comic Con last year, but unfortunately, you know, things happen. You guys experienced Hurricane Ian, and our printer is out there in Florida with you guys. So shout out to them. I'm glad we got the book. It looks fantastic.
It does.
Yes, we just had a series of unfortunate delays and events, and we were finally able to get the book this winter. So in December, it made its con debut at Los Angeles Comic Con. And now, you know, whatever the convention season for 2023 brings, you'll see it there. So it'll be at WonderCon and Heroes Con and Comic Con Revolution Ontario out here in California. And Heroes Con is out in Charlotte, North Carolina for sure. And then we'll see if I end up anywhere else for the year.
Cool. And so how did you guys get linked up? Like, I know you said that you, Aaron and your wife are kind of like, they work together, but so is that how the connection happened of saying like, hey, I have a story, or hey, I have a character and let's work on this?
Well, so so we were friends, and I knew that Don was an artist, and he was doing these daily doodles. And, you know, we all have our subjective sort of feeling about art. You know, I am drawn to certain styles of art. And it turns out that the art that Don does, I love. It just gives me goosebumps. It makes me feel like excited, and it gives me, I see his storytelling in his art. It's something that gets me motivated to go further. And so I said to him, you know, I love your art that you're doing for these daily doodles. Would you be able to do some storyboards for this screenplay that I've written? And I sort of gave him this sort of idea, and he's like, well, sure, why not? Let's do it. And so we did that, and they turned out great. And we ended up turning them into an animation for a short film that we did, and that played at festivals, and that was a lot of fun. And, you know, and I went through a kind of a rocky part of my life, and I wasn't sure. One of the things that helps me is to turn to my art as a way to, I don't know, not necessarily deal with it, but to sort of keep moving forward in life, kind of. And Don reached out to me, and he said, hey, you know, Aaron, we should go further with this story. I think it, you know, everyone seemed to really like it. What if we turned it into a comic book? And I was like, cool, let's do it.
That's awesome. So how much do you guys have planned out for the comic book? Obviously, first issue is out. Do you guys plan on making it like a series of one-shots? Do you plan on making a mini-series? You know, will we see a Retro 2? Like, what's the future plans for the series?
I think Aaron can speak best on this, but as far as I understand, his look at what we had discussed initially was we're looking to do a 4-issue arc to get people into it, but we really want to make sure that people who get their hands on this book enjoy the book and love it as much as, you know, the work that we've put into it, along with the help of, you know, Jerome Gagnon, you know, Jerome, who does all the lettering for Chavez's book, as well as the inimitable, fantastic Ellie Wright, who does a lot of stuff. For example, you know, she does Betty Page, Elvira. She colors on Red Sonja, the Immortal Red Sonja books too. So we just want to, you know, put out a quality book, get it into the hands of fans out there, and hope they enjoy the story and they come along for the ride. But yeah, I think Aaron, you want to complete it in 4, and then hopefully do like a 12-issue miniseries, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Maxi series, I guess, if it's 12.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the book. You guys, you know, I know Aaron mentioned he has it took some inspirations from the like noir films and things like that. But like, as a reader, is this read kind of like a street level, you know, Luke Cage, you know, Punisher type of thing? Does it read like a superhero capes and you know superpowers or paranormal? How does this read to readers? How would you guys suggest it? Who would you suggest it? Let me phrase it like that.
if you are a fan of books like Luke Cage, like Punisher, like Watchmen, I think this is definitely up your alley. If you like Ed Brubaker comics, also
Okay.
up your alley. The thing that Aaron really does is our genre is essentially like sci-fi noir, like psychological thriller, I think is how I'd best describe it. We essentially have been pitching it for anybody who has seen the movies Looper and Memento. Imagine if you mash those two things together and then you added that like element of like you just vigilante justice in a way, but it very much is a mystery, and it also is very much a story about familial relationships. Ultimately, at the core, what Aaron has done is told a very powerful, empowering father-son story. Not to give too much away, but that's kind of the core of what we're looking at. It's what lengths would a father go for his child.
Nice. Yeah. I'm excited. And so we also have this cover, and I know you guys talked about this all the time on the Kickstarter.
Yes.
So like the foil cover. But tell people a little bit about that. So is that from, because I know you guys have an actor there that plays him and everything like that. Was that some stuff that you had from when you had done the short or the film festival, or did you guys kind of cast somebody just for something like that?
Right. So when we did the film festival, it played at the Chinese Film Theater in Hollywood. And my friend Reno Wilson came, and he's an actor. And he's been on, a lot of things, done a lot of the voices for Transformers. And he's been on the shows Good Girls and Mike and Molly. And what's interesting is I invited him to come because the original idea for Retro came years ago when I was out with him, and he had said, I would always love to play some sort of superhero because he's a big comic book, geek. And I started thinking like, what kind of a hero story would I tell? What would be good for Reno? So I always had him in mind, when I was writing. And so he came to the festival, he saw the animated short and loved it, and said, we should do the live action version of this. So we shot the live action short, and with the intention of like being able to use that short to sort of pitch to people in Hollywood and say, hey, check this out. And also it's based on this comic book, and it's going to be really cool, and we want to make a feature, we want to make a TV show about it. And so basically that's how Reno got, and he's the one who's on the cover there. That's a frame from the short film that we shot.
Yeah, and then the logo for that is actually I remixed a still from the film, and I also took a prop that my buddy Marcus Newsom and I did. We essentially bombed a graffiti piece on a fake brick wall so that Aaron could use it, and so then we took that and I edited it in as our logo. And yeah, I think it's one of the slickest looking covers you're going to find on the market. It'll stack up against any major publisher. So I hope everybody comes out to the shop and picks it up. Because yeah, I've just sold it based alone on that cover.
And it's triple signed. It's signed by both of you guys and Reno. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. You guys hooked it up with the Kickstarter package.
Appreciate it.
You guys are awesome. But
thanks so much for the support.
Yeah, man. No, you guys are awesome. Don, if people don't remember, Don did a cover for us for Stake Presents Jessamy #1 when Francesca started her U.S. tour that is still going on. But no, yeah, that was when Francesca first came from the U.S. to Italy. So we've worked with Don, and this is exciting. We have Don's book. What else? So, Aaron, I know you are mostly a filmmaker, or you do work in film. What other books have you done? Other comic books, or is Retro literally your first comic book?
So this is my first foray into the comic book world, and writing for comics takes a little bit of, you can't just instantly just jump into it. So I was lucky to have Don to help me, with giving me hints about how to write for a comic book. It's a whole different medium, and so there's a sort of special way to. It's an interesting blend because when you're writing for a comic book and you have this story in your head and you're seeing it, you want to, on one hand, you want to give enough details to the artist so they're like, oh, cool, I understand what this should be. But you also don't want to give so many details that the artist feels strapped to your own little vision. You want to give, I mean, they're an artist for a reason, and you want them to feel the power to go and create and make it as cool as they envision too, and tap into their abilities. So you have to be able to sort of do both in the script. And so that can be a little challenging at times, but it's a lot of fun too.
And Don, you've this is absolutely not your first comic book. Like, I mean, you've done interiors, you've done stuff. So let people know, what have you done before this? What do you also have coming after this?
I am working on my second issue of Pablo the Gorilla right now, which you guys I believe also have, and getting started on the next issue of Battle Grapple Rebel with Michael Tanner, who I've worked with on the first issue along with Dave Wheeler and Brett Waldelli, who a lot of people might know from Southland Tales. So we're gearing up to do that after I finish Pablo. So we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck, but yeah, people might know me. I did the cover for you guys. I just had a cover come out for Athena the Undying from Second Side Publishing. I'm also a Marvel sketch card artist. Most people who know my initial set was with Peach Momoko, or alongside Peach Momoko and my buddy Ray Anthony Height for Marvel Anime. And WandaVision just dropped. So shops, go to the collective and ask for a box of WandaVision. And hopefully you'll be able to find one of my 30 sketch cards. I'm doing art drops right now. I'm posting up process videos and the pieces as well. And I think it's some of the best art I've put out recently. And then I'm working with other publishers. I work with the amazing Travis Gidd at Orange Coat Productions. We got something cooking right now. I don't know if he dropped that for you guys, but I'm doing a story again with John Crowther. If you guys picked up Cthulhu Invades Oz, Cthulhu Invades Neverland, I hope you've enjoyed our little shorts in that. I really love doing gag pieces. And yeah, I guess a lot of people know me from a lot of the Cthulhu books. We also do Holiday Spirits as part of Orange Coat Productions. So shout out to Jerome on that one as well. And then, yeah, I just have a bunch of stuff cooking, and hopefully it'll be another productive year this year.
Awesome, man. You're busy. So I know I had Kayla and Sage ask how they can get a copy. So the collective we have the A covers. We have them $9.99. They're double signed by Don and Aaron. We have a few of those. We got a decent amount. I will say I only have one of this cover left, guys. I have it at $29.99. Like Don said, Don was hype on it. So just let us know. Kayla, I know you're on the show, so I can always invoice it together with your auction stuff and everything like that. So guys, as we're wrapping up here, do you guys see yourselves doing Retro 2 in 2023? Like, is that in the cards, or is it like a maybe 2024 project?
You can never tell with Kickstarter projects. I usually tell people it takes about a year to 2 to get a book series out, and I'm a little nuts, so I work on like 3 or 4 books at a time. So we'll see. Hopefully, by the end of 2023, we'll see where Aaron is. He's currently working on a feature right now with an incredible Sean Baker, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I don't even know if you can talk about it. Can you talk about that? No?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm working on a film that in the indie film world, there is a director named Sean Baker who does kind of these low-budget art house films that are very reality-based about certain segments of society. He did the movie Tangerine that played at Sundance. He did the Florida Project with Willem Dafoe. Okay. And he did, and so he wrote this a long time ago with his co-producer, Shiching. And she is actually directing this, and takes place with a family in Taiwan. And they shot the whole thing with iPhones, and it's super cool. It's just a crazy little story that is a lot of fun and has a lot of heart. And I'm racing now against a deadline because they're really crossing their fingers, hoping it can get into the Cannes Film Festival. So we'll see.
Good luck with that, man. But yeah,
That's awesome.
Aaron's
That's
got
awesome.
stuff on his table as well. So we're
Yeah.
we're trucking
Famous-
along.
he's
We're
famous
gonna try
guy.
to get it out.
Yeah, Thomas just popped in. He's like, I've seen those films. Thomas, I know, is a movie guy. I know he wants.
Hey, Thomas.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. But yeah, guys. So as we're wrapping up here, let people know where they can find you if they want to follow along with what you guys are doing in 2023 and how they can follow you guys on social media and stuff like that. Aaron, where are you at?
So you can see or to see I'm at Mr. Jump Cut on Instagram as well as Twitter, though I don't do so much Twitter stuff anymore. You can always, I have a website, AaronLindenthaler, and so there you go. I guess that's a spot. And I go running around the Rose Bowl here in Los Angeles. So occasionally you can find me there as well.
And if you want to follow Retro the Project, you can find it on Instagram at who.is.retro. And then for me, I'm at Winning It. It's the most common Vietnamese last name, Nguyen, but spelled Nguyen, add an INGIT, as it says right there. And yeah, my con schedule this year so far, it's going to be WonderCon in April. Is that what WonderCon is? And then on the East Coast, you can find me at HeroesCon, Charlotte, North Carolina. I believe that one is in June. And then Comic-Con Revolution, Ontario is in May. And we'll see if I line up anything else. But yeah, I'm an oversharer online. So the name is trademark. I'm on most social media platforms. Find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And my own website is at winningit.com. If you need commissions or covers, I'm your guy.
Awesome,
Can I say
guys.
one more? I want to ask a quick question.
Yeah.
What is that red helmet over there?
It's
Looks
a
like a Mando helmet.
3D printed Mandalorian helmet.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
The
That's
Imperial
3D printed. That is sharp. Is that,
It actually,
standing
yeah, it's
down?
surprising. I used it to do a raffle winning the other day. I just held it upside down and put raffle tickets in it. So
Nice.
yeah, maybe I should have it facing the studio a little bit more, huh?
Yeah. And the new season of Mandalorian is coming up, so that's exciting.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get it painted by the time the season comes. It was meant to be painted.
Okay.
We haven't.
Kayla
but
asked
yeah, guys,
if we ever come to Texas. I haven't been to Texas in a minute, like pre-pandemic, but that was just to hang out because Austin is a cool place, and been to Dallas, driven across the northern part, Childress, but yeah, haven't been there in a while, and I don't know if the cards hold out in the future for me anytime soon. We'll see. But yeah,
never
we'd love
know.
to get out.
I know Dallas Fan Expo is pretty big. I feel like
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And they have fantastic barbecue out there.
Yeah. Well, and then you add Don and Aaron, and it's even a better lineup. I'm just saying.
Any conventions, if you guys want to shout out at us and have us as guests, let us know.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I don't want anybody to forget, we do carry Retro #1 in store. They are all signed. Don was nice enough to make sure they all get signed, which I know takes extra time in the fulfillment process. So thank you very much, Don. Kayla, I am holding this one for you for tomorrow. Even if I don't see it tomorrow, I'll invoice you through the show. Guys, we have one left of the foil movie variant. That one was like super exclusive, right, Don?
Yeah, so we only printed 500 copies of that, and there's only 125 of the Reno copies left. And they really do move, because we just recently did a signing at the Comic Bug out here in LA, and my box is now like only 2/3 full. So I'm going to WonderCon soon. I don't even know if I'll have any left. So do jump on those if you're interested in that, because they're not going to be remade anytime soon. And if they do, they definitely will not look that same way.
Oh no, that's a beautiful foil. I'll say even your A covers came out beautiful, but like that foil is banging.
Yeah, we tried. Any cover I personally oversee, I try to make sure the production value is high and will stack up against any major pub book out there. So if you ever find a cover of mine, they are spot UV'd. There are effects on them, and the art looks sharp, and the colors are always sharp. So we try. That's the thing about indie comics. You look at the stuff. For example, that Orange Cone is doing, or like what Charlie Stickney does on White Ash, Pat, Shan, any of these guys, our books are fantastic. You know, indie comics it's a renaissance period right now for indie comics. And I think we see time after time, the last few years, especially, why crowdfunding has become such a powerhouse for comics, because you see these creators, we're putting everything on the line, and we're putting our hearts on our sleeves and wearing it out there for people. And you can see that the dedication that goes into, indie creators and what we do out here. You can see the quality and the return on that investment. It looks sharp. I love all these books that are coming out.
And I think you might have talked to Kayla into it. So Kayla, you want this one instead? Just let me know. But yeah, it's like a foil, but honestly, with the way you designed that trade dress, if you will, the retro logo, it looks awesome.
Thank you.
So it was nice that you sent one over with the package, Don. Thank you so much. But
you're very welcome.
Guys, thank you so much. Yeah, let me get the other one, please. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Perfect. So I got that for Kayla. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. Again, guys, the book is Retro #1. I feel like you said, if you like Luke Cage, if you like, even if you like kind of like the street level guys like Black Lightning, like this will be very fun, Punisher, even Daredevil level, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely a ground level character mixed in with a little sci-fi. And like I said, if you love movies like Memento and Looper, think of those two mashed up and throw in the Luke Cage, street justice element, and it's right up that alley. And the author I always point to, like reading Aaron's script, is I think right off the top of my head, like Ed Brubaker style, or even that, like if you're in those like 80s 90s comics, like a Grendel kind of a thing,
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit like Criminal from Brubaker and Phillips.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is awesome, guys. If you like noir, you like superheroes, you like some punching and anger, this is for you. Retro #1. We got some copies. They're signed. Don, Aaron, thank you so much for your time, guys. You guys have a great rest of the day.
Appreciate your time as always, man.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Later.
Take it easy, y'all. So thank you so much to my guests, Aaron and Don, today. Remember, guys, the book is Retro #1. We still have some copies of the main cover left, $9.99. They do come double signed. And with that being said, we will be back tomorrow for the new Comic Book Day preview show, 5:30. And then, 5:30 for the auction, 5:30 for News with Nick, I think. Nick might be at 5. Anyways, we'll have the schedule up. But we got shows every day this week, and then we'll be back next Monday, 5:30. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good one.